Hello guys! In today's video I'm gonna tell you about the build, about the skill books on the Force Master. So a lot of people are just asking and curious about which skill books the Force Master should choose at the Beginner's Neo Classic. I'm playing Global right now and I just made a pretty good build using the left Blazing Palm to make the focus recovery easier because it gives you additional focus recovery and critical hit. I use the Impact Burn. It's the core skill of the build because it makes the target burn after you explode 5 stacks. Also, I choose the Blazing Beam because it deals the biggest amount of solo damage or to solo target. You can also put the several books, but I'll tell you about this later. Don't forget about the Frost Palm because the default Frost Palm consumes 2 focus points. And in this build, you actually will consume only 1. Why, for example, I choose this one, not the middle one, because mostly you use the Frost Palm to switch to the Frost stance. That's why it becomes much cheaper. The next skill I'm gonna tell you to choose is the Meteor Shower because it will deal additional damage to the burning opponents. So since we burn by our impact skill, it deals extra damage to the target. For the party save, it's pretty good to use the Frost Sheath, since like in PvE Frost Prison's pretty useless. Balefire as well, the common one, doesn't deal that much damage, but this one will help you focus recovery very often, each 18 seconds, and also it makes the target burn. The next skill is a Fiend Fire. Basically, the skill deals a huge amount of damage, but it has a cast time, 2.5 seconds, which is like pretty long, you know? You are not going to use it by this way. But if we go back to our Impact Burn skill, we chose, after burning a target, after exploding the 5 Ember stacks on the target, you can insta-cast your Fiend Fire and deal a pretty huge amount of damage. Also, it helps you to deny, like, to last hit the bosses, like the world bosses, for example, the mutant ones, and give an extra chest. The next skill I do use is a Deadlock. So, the Divine Veil commonly is usable for defending against the projectiles. But since like Force Master has already a lot of defensive skills, including the Frost Sheath we're gonna choose, I prefer to use a Deadlock to help the focus recovery for 15 seconds. It also works on your teammates which stand pretty close to you. If you are all often lack of HP and you don't dodge much, you can choose the Body Double, which will help you to HP recovery. But it has a longer cooldown, keep it in mind. So, Frost Armor, I'd choose Recover HP. It will also help you to sustain. I do not recommend you to choose the Twin Dragons with a cast time because it will probably it's usable to restore your focus. So insta-cast or the Dual Dragons helps you to restore the 5 focus. So does the Dragon Frost. Also don't forget that you can put several books of the Blazing Beam to increase its damage. So you get the skill Grandmaster and any extra slots will help you to increase the damage of that skill. Probably, in my case, it's extra almost 10% of the damage. So that's it, like the most effective stats are critical rate and critical damage. As to other classes as well. That's it, pretty simple. So how does this actually work? After you get the 5 Ember stacks on the target, you explode them and your beam becoming more strong. Like, look at the numbers, it's pretty huge, right? But if we don't burn the opponent, we don't see such big amount of the damage. So for example, if you use beam without burning effect, it will deal just like 2.2 as a crit. But if the target is burning, which you can just stack your embers and explode it, the amount of the damage is becoming pretty huge. Also, your Meteor Shower will deal extra damage, as I told, and you can insta-cast your Inferno. Also, people ask about the Soul Core. Which Soul Core is better to use as a Force Master? I would recommend for PvP to use the Infernal Lord Soul Core, because in PvP it deals a fixed amount of damage as a burn-in, as a damage over time. So it probably something like a kill secure in PvP. But in PvE, I'd probably recommend you to Devourer's Soul Core, because it gives you 45 attack power for 10 seconds after finishing the effect of Devourer's Soul Core. Sadly, I don't have it right now, but since it gives you AP boost, I think it's more effective. Soul Badge is preferred to be as a bonus to Blazing Beam, since Blazing Beam is the most effective skill to deal DPS, right? We can also throw our C skill and insta start dealing a lot of damage.